Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Alejandra. I am the Artistic Director for Innersense Organic Beauty. I am a salon owner and a holistic hairdresser, and we are super excited to, well, one, for me, I have so much to learn about Mesa, and she's joining us from Texas. Is that right?
Yes.
Amazing. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays. You know, our Wellness Wednesdays is really dedicated to meeting people in our industry who are committed to their own wellness and who are inspiring others through their own positivity, through their own, just through having an approach that is centered around wellness and holistic values. And I can't wait to meet you and hear everything that you're working on. So welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you. So I'm Maca Ramos, and I'm from Waxahachie, which is south of Dallas, Texas. And I am a first responder wife. I am a mom of 3. I'm a salon owner, studio owner, and a health and wellness coach.
Oh, wonderful. So you are a health and wellness coach alongside being a behind the chair hairstylist.
Yes.
I love it.
So
which came
I
first?
started, I guess, hair.
Okay.
I got my license in high school. And so that has been 16 years now.
Okay.
So hairstylist for 16 years, and in between there, discovered health and wellness. It's a whole story I'm sure we'll get to, and then came back to the chair. So the last 2 years have been a complete whirlwind.
I love it. So is that when you started to integrate wellness behind the chair?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did, as far as being super young, I did apprenticeships. I knew I always loved doing hair.
Mm-hmm.
My husband, it was just a catalyst of many things. He got a cancer diagnosis after we had our first daughter, and that spurred on inside of me at the time being how a lot of hairstylists, we can get fast food, not taking care of ourselves. I was a pack-a-day cigarette smoker, addicted to my ADD medication, all of these things. And my husband gets this cancer things. It just, so many things clicked in my head. I began researching and wanting to live a better lifestyle. So that's how that began. Through 10 years of being in the health and wellness industry with a certain company, I really was able to help a lot of people understand food and loving themselves in a healthful way. I stepped away from the chair while I had my 3 children. And 2 years ago, I came back to doing hair. And like I said, I've been integrating the 2 ever since.
Oh, that's great. What does that look like behind the chair? What does a typical appointment look like?
Well, honestly, anyone that sits in my chair, something that I'm super passionate about is there's a no judgment zone. So I'll often speak a lot about how I used to live, not from a place of any sort of shame for myself or any embarrassment, but I say it to be able to show people, because what they see now is what I share on Instagram, the way I cook, the way I live. It's a curated feed, right? It's beautiful, but right. I want people to know where it began. So we start there. And I find that I'm always trying to break down what I am seeing people think about me and how I'm going to answer their questions about health. So if they sit with me and in my chair, what do women always talk about? They talk about being sleepy, stressed out, not eating well. They will start just almost putting themselves down for whatever is going on in their life. You know what I mean? And then I feel like my heart is to build that back up, whether it be with food, mindfulness, encouraging better sleep, any type of encouragement, and it's never the same. Every single person needs something different. So my hope is always for them to leave feeling encouraged and having tips along the way. Sometimes I created an online e-course last year. So I got certified with my health coaching certification through the Dr. Sears Wellness Program. I love him because he is super well balanced. There's no like fad diet rhetoric or demonizing any type of food or way of living. We've done it all in my house. And last year I decided to just take that plunge. It was January of 2020. I took the plunge to get with my girlfriend. I created an online e-course to simplify living, and I can share more about what that e-course looks like. I was so excited to get something in people's hands that helped them not only identify why they think the way they do about food and where that comes from, whether it be childhood trauma or their own deprivation, or you reward yourself with food, you harm, you know what I'm saying? Figuring out that core belief first, then a style of eating where you understand that your plate can be filled with delicious goodness and it's not sadness or deprivation. Understanding ingredient label reading, and simplifying in the kitchen how to cook your meals. Anyways, I created this whole online e-course. Went to launch it the week before the whole world shut down. And so I pulled it. I said, this is not a time where it just didn't feel right. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I poured my heart into this course and, wanting to be a tool for people, but I was like, oh my word, like everything seems like it's just falling apart and everyone's in different headspaces. And I decided not to. So behind the chair, I talk about it. I use it as a tool. I've gifted it. I love to share it and help people along with that. So it looks a lot like it's not a failure in my mind. It's something that will be there for a later date as well. So I feel like the pandemic spurred on a lot of change as far as how I communicate with health and wellness behind the chair. But I'm grateful for it. It's made it better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make better. And I think it's important to be able to be flexible with what is going on with our surroundings. And I think that's such a big part of it. If you're trying to push your vision out and it's just not the right timing, it's not going to be received well, and you will not feel as fulfilled because you will have felt that it was so I think listening to your intuition was really smart on that project because of course you still have your clients that you can share this with, you still have access to the work that you do behind the chair. And I think it's really powerful because I think that as hairdressers, whatever it is that's going on in our life, for the most part, we end up sharing that with our clients. So if we're, working on our, if we're going to be doing a triathlon or something and, we're taking these steps to get to that point, then that's what we're focusing on our lives and that's what we're sharing. And so I think it's beautiful anytime that we align ourselves to something that is helping our own personal growth, we will, without even trying, we'll be sharing that with our clients. And I think that's one of the things that's so powerful about being a hairdresser is that we do get to share so much of what we believe with our clients and vice versa, right? We get to hear what's happening for them and we get to be inspired by them. And I think that's really just such a treat, to be a hairdresser and to be able to learn from each other and to spread the wisdom that you learned along the way, or the wisdom that you may have heard from the client that just left your chair, and you share that with the client that comes after. So it's a very interesting industry in which we're constantly sort of hearing stuff from one person and tying it into the other. And so you've been using Innersense for a while too, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that play into your behind the chair?
So when okay, so I mentioned being in the wellness industry, and I came by that in 2010 through a direct sales company. And through that company, it afforded our family, but at the same time, I didn't understand ingredients until about 7 years into that business. And something that was very important to me, since no longer being a part of that business, was that behind the chair, every single one of my clients deserve to know that if they're buying a product from me, that every single ingredient on the label matters. And that's what I went looking for. Innersense actually, I believe, was the only brand that I could find that I knew I could look at the label, I could hear the founders speak, and I could just tell at the core what the company was about, was being very dedicated to clean living, right? And that was something that was so important to me, especially when it comes to just the fact that I've had people sit in my chair and they'll say, I trust you, I'll buy whatever. And kind of having that in my gut of knowing I didn't know what I knew before, what I know now I didn't know before when I was a part of my former business, where a few of the ingredients now I'm like, wow, I feel really bad that you know what I'm saying, that I sold those products. But in the same sense, we know better, we do better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's beautiful. And I think it's never too late to clean up your beauty routines. It's never too late to clean up your health, your lifestyle, anything. So I think that's a very important message that you're sharing, which is that, when you're aware of what you're putting into your body, what you're putting onto your body, all of that is going to make a positive difference in your life. And I appreciate you sharing that with us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wish you so much success when it is time to launch is it an ebook? It's an e-course, right?
It's an e-course with an ebook attached to it. Yes.
Yeah, well, hopefully you let us know when that launches. We'd love to stay connected. And would you let us know how other hairdressers can stay connected with you and where they can find out more about what you're working on?
Absolutely. So the very best way is Instagram. So it would be Healthy Mess at Healthy Mess with an underscore is me. And healthymess.co is my blog.
Okay, it froze a little bit, but we're going to be putting the link below so everyone will see and will be able to stay connected with you. Thank you so much for joining us. I know we're having a little bit of a difficulty with our reception. You're a little bit out more in the country and it looks beautiful. I was able to peek out her window and it's super green and lovely. But thanks again for joining us. Best of luck with everything that you're working on. And thank you so much for sharing all of your insight with us today. I hope that everybody has a beautiful rest of their day. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.